welcome back to the channel. This is a channel that's not only dedicated to my 2012 Jeep Rubicon, but to Jeeps in general. And in today's video, we're going to talk about winter wheeling versus summer wheeling and which I prefer. In Alberta, we have three distinct off-road seasons: summer, winter, and repair season. But when you think of off-roading in Canada, the first thing that I'm sure that comes to mind is winter wheeling. And you're not wrong, we do tend to have quite a long winter season. The winter season does offer new and unique challenges. River crossings that are basic in the summer can be challenging due to iced up riverbanks in the winter. Trails that are nothing more than dirt roads in the summer are covered by snow. Lots of snow, up to 3 feet in spots. This makes recoveries commonplace on any winter adventures into the mountains. Stock rigs tend to struggle in these conditions. But the winter rewards are very unique. Waterfalls that are nothing more than a trickle in the summer are quite spectacular in the winter. Mountain vistas are just a little bit more awe-inspiring when they're covered in snow. But summer in the Rockies isn't bad at all. And summer wheeling does offer up some unique challenges, like high degree descents. And a bit of mud, or a lot of it, depending on the thaw and the spring rainfall. We had a ton of snow last winter, so it made for saucy adventures well into June. Personally, I'm not a fan of mud wheeling. I prefer a technical ascent or descent over this any time of the year. But one nice thing about the summer is that you don't need a large group to be safe. I don't recommend it in summer or winter, but solo trips aren't nearly as dangerous during summer months as they are in the winter.
I have to admit, winter wheeling is definitely a pain in the ass because you do have to bring a lot of extra gear. You know, I have my usual pack for summer, and that already includes a bunch of stuff.
A couple of saws,
GMRS radios,
a tire deflator, a snatch block, flashlights,
you'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge,
a bottle opener, a couple of knives, super mediocre tire inflator, a jack with a base plate. When you wake up in the morning and your pants are overflowing. But wait, there's more! Zip ties,
grave digger,
differential oil, a very well-used toe strap, metric wrenches, a breaker bar, torque wrench, say hello to my little friend, and my axe. Fire extinguisher, very important.
monster trucks.
Whoa, flashlight.
So add to all that stuff the winter gear. You know, it's winter. Anything can happen. You kind of have to assume that even a day trip, well, it could turn into an overnight adventure pretty easily. I'm not really talking about winter camping because that's not my game at all. I can't stand the idea of consciously camping intentionally in the winter. That's not my jam at all. So I always pack a few things: a sleeping bag or two, spare matches, waterproof matches, some long-lasting emergency oil candles. I always have a basic first aid kit. Now this is always in my Jeep, so I did pack a thermal blanket in here just in case, again, my day trip turns into an overnight trip. Make sure you dress in layers. Thermal layer, pants. Ski pants are a really good investment because they'll keep you dry. Pretty much nothing worse than being wet and cold. So the other thing you have to keep in mind for winter wheeling is you definitely need more recovery equipment.
Make sure your rig has all recovery points installed.
I mean, it's probably not the best, but I do have, a portable shovel. It's probably good enough to get me by in a pinch. But again, a good quality shovel is something I can recommend. This one, again, it'd probably work. I've never had to use it, fortunately, but it's there if I do. The other piece of recovery equipment you may want to look at, I don't have them because I don't have a ton of real estate to store them in, and they are quite large as recovery boards. I've seen them used very successfully on a few of our winter trips, and definitely recommend investing in a set. When I do day trips in the summer, I almost never bring extra fuel. But in the winter, it's the opposite. I always bring extra fuel. The reason for that is summer gas is more fuel efficient than winter fuel. In the winter, we tend to burn through a lot more fuel. Plus, we're idling a lot more. You know, in the summer, if you stop for a break, you turn your engine off. In the winter, you stop for a break, you tend to keep it idling so that your rig stays nice and cozy warm inside.
In my opinion, 20 liters of extra fuel is the absolute minimum.
If there's one thing that I really dislike about winter wheeling, it is the light situation. Here in Alberta, between December and February, we really only have between 5 and 7 hours of really good daylight. So we have to hit the trailheads early, and that means really early mornings. I live in Edmonton. Getting to some of the trailheads is like a 2.5-3 hour drive to begin with. So most of my mornings start around 4:30. In the summer, to do those same trails, if you hit the trailhead at noon, you can still wheel till at least 10 at night. So do the math, you know, you got 10 hours of trail time with solid light. You know, and in June, you might even be out till midnight and still have some usable light. So it's not an issue in the summer, but in the winter, the early mornings do kind of suck.
Summer wheeling isn't all unicorns and rainbows. There are two cons that come to mind for summer wheeling. The first is mud. This is my least favorite thing. Long gone are the days of me blasting through mud puddles. It's just too hard on the engine accessories. The other thing I'm not a fan of is dust. While some of the forestry trunk roads we use in the winter are dusty, it just seems 1,000 times worse in the summer. All this being said, even though it's a huge pain in the ass packing extra gear and extra fuel into my two-door, and waking up at 4 in the morning, I still prefer winter wheeling. The snowy conditions add an extra element of difficulty. And I know it's weird, but I just love the smell of the mountains in the winter. And the winter sunsets here in Alberta are absolutely breathtaking. But at the end of the day,
Wheeling is wheeling. It's fun either way. You know, there's pros to winter wheeling, there's cons to winter wheeling, just like there's pros to summer wheeling, just like there's cons to summer wheeling. But ultimately it comes down to they're both pretty dang fun. And I hope to someday see many of you that are watching this out there on the trails. In the meantime, click, tap, smash that like button, do something with the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. In the meantime, the Drax out of here.